Most people who start learning a new language waste months or sometimes years, including myself, when I started learning Thai language. They try to master a new language by spreading too much attention everywhere, learning grammar, trying to listen to music, translating something, and even trying to speak too early. One of the reasons why it happens is that we naturally want to spend as little effort as possible. All of it looks like we are doing something. We spend time, we spend energy on it, but in reality, it is a far less effective way to start learning a new language. And in doing this, we don't just spend our time, we waste it. However, if you start with improving your vocabulary first and learning the most common words we use daily, you can understand people and start talking to them. Without vocabulary, no matter how much grammar you learn or how much time you spend on a new language application, it all won't matter. Because you won't be able to understand people and you won't be able to talk to them. Learning a new language is like building a house. To put up the roof and the walls, you have to make a base first. In any language, that base is a strong vocabulary first, before diving deep into any other skill. I'm George. I'm not a native English speaker. I learned English from scratch, starting later in life. If I can do it, you can do it. So, even if you are struggling to express yourself, understand native speakers, or just want to learn a better strategy of how to learn new words more effectively, or maybe you're just a beginner, this video is for you. You will know what words to learn, how to separate them, and why we need to do that, and the 3 best methods to master them. Well, you see, the common way people try to learn those words, those essential words, is what I call the memorize and forget method. They write down words, repeat them, make flashcards, and still forget them the next day. It's frustrating. But what if I told you that remembering thousands of words, and I mean remembering them long term, can actually be easy if you use the right system? Here's the problem. Most people think that learning words is all about repetition. The more you repeat, the more you remember. But our brain doesn't exactly work this way. Repetition without emotion or connection is just noise. That's why you can look at a list of words 10 times and still forget them the next day. So to remember thousands of words fast, you need to change how you study, not how long. Now, let's talk about how to learn the words. The first key is prioritizing and grouping. Stop learning random words. You need to group them based on relevance and part of speech. And when you start learning a language, it's better to prioritize nouns within topics you actually care about, like cooking, work, or sports. Next, you move to the top 50 to 200 verbs. Verbs are the action. You now start using your top verbs with your learned nouns. Finally, you learn the top 100 adjectives to add color and detail. This systematic approach is your base. For learning these words, you must use the connection principle. When you see a new word, don't just translate it, connect it to an image, a sound, a memory, or an emotion. For example, when learning a verb like to run, you picture yourself actually running and feel the movement, which activates multiple parts of your brain. That sensory connection is what makes the word stick. The second key is that you need to use it. Imagine a real situation from your life and write a sentence using these newly grouped words. If you learn 15 words every day, that's 15 new sentences on various topics. Write them down, And here's a pro tip. Upload them to an AI later to check the cohesiveness in spelling. This gives you instant feedback and helps you avoid a common mistake. Using words that translate similarly but are used absolutely differently in English. For people who already know the most common verbs, nouns, and adjectives, you still need to focus on your topic of interest. It makes no sense to learn medical vocabulary if you will never speak on that topic. Understand where your interest is, and then Google the most popular words in this topic and put them into any digital application for learning. If you don't know which application to choose, I highly recommend you Google it to find the application that is best for you and works on the device that you are going to use. Here's where most people fail, even if they learn words the right way. They forget them over time because they don't review them at the right moment. And that's really hard to do when you learn words using physical cards or textbooks. That's where spaced repetition comes in. Spaced repetition means reviewing a word right before you are about to forget it. This precise timing is what tells your brain, hey, this is important, keep it. It moves the word from your short-term memory into your long-term storage. Trying to do this with paper flashcards is almost impossible. You need a tool, whether it's an online flashcard deck, a simple spreadsheet, or a dedicated app that uses a clever algorithm to decide exactly when to show the word again. Finally, and this is very important, don't just look at the words. You have to use them, say them out loud, write short sentences, quiz yourself. If you are at the level of speaking already, force yourself to use these words in your conversations. You need to push yourself, really push yourself to start using these words. Otherwise, the brain will try to avoid them at any cost. Every time you force your brain to actually recall a word, to put it from memory instead of just recognizing it, you make that memory stronger and more permanent. And that's how you move from just studying words to speaking fluently later. If you are looking for a highly curated resource to put this method into practice, especially if you're working on your speaking fluency, my upcoming pre-intermediate to upper intermediate audio course will be focused entirely on teaching these high-frequency words and phrases using this exact system. Check the description to the waitlist link below. Thanks for watching, and I hope this system helps you reach your goals faster. Let me know in the comments section below by sharing the language you are currently learning and what your biggest vocabulary goal is. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now.